I left my student completely speechless after fixing his golf swing, and I wanted to show you how we did this because it's a simple but crazy change that gave him so much more consistency and a huge improvement with his ball striking. So for anyone suffering with the same issue, will really see differences when they try this. Huge shout out to Hack Motion for making this change a reality. Without this device being able to track the numbers, the wrist angles in Nick's golf swing, we would not have been able to see such a huge change like we did in just a couple of golf shots. It tracks all the data, shows you where you are, where you need to get to, and makes the right changes happen in your golf swing much faster. And I'm going to be using this sensor anyway throughout the video to show you the positions that we were in and the positions we were able to get Nick in as well. So after we let Nick hit a few shots with the Hack Motion warming up, I noticed he was struggling with mainly the thins and the shanks, and this was literally all down to how his wrists work in the golf swing. As you can see from the video to your right, as he starts the golf swing, he would start with a lot of wrist movement, rolling of the wrists, making a way into the takeaway position, seeing the club very much so behind the hands, but also leading to a very open club face. And this rolling effect encouraged Nick's wrist angle to be very much so extended as we made our way into this first part of the golf swing. Then we'd make our way into the top of the backswing and extend that wrist even more so and start to see the club go too far across the line. That encouraged us on the way down to somehow try and manipulate the club face angle to try and stop ourselves from leaving the club face open, and we saw a lot of unwanted reactions taking place. So to improve the consistency, the strike, and the direction, we had to look into two things in particular. How we could control the wrist angles throughout the golf swing, but also how we could ensure that that club face was remaining square. If we could keep the club face remaining square throughout the golf swing, it was going to be much easier to encourage Nick to form the correct reaction in the downswing, where we see a lot more rotation, a lot more turn, the body and the arms working in sync in one, as opposed to getting all separated and too loose. So the initial drill that I got Nick to start off with, just to begin improving the golf swing, improving that first part, was by simply placing his trail hand out in front of him and allowing the wrist to set onto the backswing, allow this wrist to hinge so the palm faces towards the ground and the elbow faces towards the body. Not like this here, like this here. And then from this point, take the club with the left hand and just simply move it to that point so he could grip the club. So look at the wrist angles on the screen here. Massive improvement already. Having a look at that there, ever so slightly in the minus number. So full control of that takeaway point just from practicing and rehearsing that movement there. Once we practiced that a couple of times, it was then time to bring those two into all in one motion, rather than just using the trail hand, using both hands to set the club, still feeling though that he was in control of the positioning from that right palm, the trail palm of his setting and facing towards the ground. This then encouraged the second part to take place into the backswing. So after hitting a few shots, a few small swings, just getting used to that first position, we noticed massive improvements with the wrist angles, and then it was time to build into a full swing. So Nick was so used to anyway making a too big a swing, so we were going to encourage a much shorter swing anyway. But the simple feel for him was just to ensure that once he had this set position on the club parallel to ground point here, swinging ever so slightly outside, to then seeing the club go more across as opposed to inside and over the line. So this is what it looks like at the very top of the golf swing. He would set it and then he would rotate, keeping everything tucked in, and I'd tell him to stop a lot sooner than a full swing. And the reason was, as soon as we started to hit a few shots doing this and getting used to the action, he was setting the club in a beautiful position at the very top of the golf swing. And this was only a matter of a couple of golf shots that we started to see these incredible improvements in his golf swing, but also the wrist angles, as you can see on the screen, before and after. Pretty incredible that, isn't it? So having a look into the downswing then. Although we've been able to get the club set into a great position on the way back, as he's so used to leaving the club face open, he's always going to react in the downswing. But now, because we've got that club face ever slightly more closed by us anyway, we don't need to get this reaction. We don't need to get this unwanted reaction. So we have to get Nick used to forming the correct reaction, which was being able to maintain this angle in the downswing. As soon as we made our way into the top of the golf swing, I told Nick to hold this angle that he's set here. So from the first part, second part, working the way up to the top. For the downswing, we wanted to see the club work on that same angle. We wanted to try and get that club to work back down where the hands were ever so slightly behind the club here, so he could continue rotating and then continuing to rotate, feeling those hands exit left, going towards this lead hip here. And look at my club face. I've not allowed it to close down at all. I'm holding this angle all the way up to the top of the golf swing. And for him, we encouraged him to almost get that Fleetwood-esque finish, just to really help feel that exit pattern going left. So I'm going to cover this in a lot more detail in a video that I'm going to include at the end screen, so recommend checking that out after this video. So combining these all into one motion and stopping seeing those poor golf shots go too far to the left. We've got that compression, let's get the direction. So this setting here, making our way up to the top, back down here, we're rotating and bringing the club back out in front, and then we're holding this angle and rotating round as much as we can. And the harder we rotated, the squarer the club face and the better the shots would be. And there you go, look at that one, fading back to target really nicely there. Low penetrating fade for an 8-iron. And taking a look at the wrist angles, fingers crossed I got that one right. Pretty good. I've always been a little bit too flex at the very top of the golf swing, so the key for me is to hold this angle on the way down. But for Nick, if we were to take a look at the results before and after, having a look at his golf swing first, and then having a look at the wrist numbers as well from the hack motion data, this really made a difference to Nick in helping him make these changes much easier, finding what worked for him, the feelings that worked for him to get his golf swing back on track. Huge differences, and if you would like to see huge differences like that, come down and see me for a golf lesson. I'll leave the link in the description below for either online lessons or in-person lessons. They will be in the description. Just press onto the title once you've gone off the video and then click the description and everything will be there for you. If you're looking for a discount off the hack motion, 5% off Harry 5, you can also get that using the same description below. This video has been sponsored by GX Golf, who provide high quality golf clubs at a fraction of the price in comparison to their competitors on the market. Using the code Harry10, you can get yourself a great 10% discount on those as well. Now, I'd highly recommend checking this video out over here if you're looking for a more in-depth guide to help you form the correct exit pattern on the way through in your golf swing. Perfect for people who struggle with ball strike, and also perfect for golfers out there who are looking for more consistency in direction. Take a look at that. We'll see you over there. Thanks for watching.